I'm not actually sure what Catherine is up to yet. She's first of all grieving the death of Henry, and also now trying to figure out what her position of power is, because her son is now going to be king. So she's got some interesting politicking herself to do. No, I'm not Team Mash. He's a bastard, for God's sake. We're not having any of that. I'm Team, Frary, but only because I'm Team Francis. I'm Team Francis, let's face it. I don't care. That's my team. Mary happens to be there, but...
So I wanted to ask you, with historical shows being so popular, if you could go to any time in history, and let's say spend a year, where would you go? Or are you already there in your show?
Well, I don't think it would be medieval times, because there was just too much stuff going on. Where would I go? Somewhere where it was healthy, maybe Shangri-La, at any time when they had like perfect health and everything was beautiful.
Now, is it hard to be a queen and then, have to deal with regular life?
Kind of sets you up for disappointment back in regular life. No, I have so much fun playing this part. I just have a blast, so I love it.
I know people are crazy about this show, and I want to know, what shows are you into? Do you ever have time to watch television yourself?
I do. Right now I'm actually getting a blast. I'm watching Vicious. Do you watch Vicious?
I've seen one.
I think it's hysterical. I think they're brilliant, those Derek Jacobi and Sir Ian McKellar. Just brilliant. I'm a Nurse Jackie fan. I love Nurse Jackie, and I love Game of Thrones. What else have I been watching? Well, and I love True Detective.
Oh, yeah.
I love True Detective.
Excited about season 2?
I am. I have no idea who are they. Who are they going to be? It's got to be 2 different people, right? It's like a whole new thing. So I just thought that was. I love that.
And have you ever been to Comic-Con before?
Never. This is my first time, and we don't get to be here very long because we're literally on a plane, a red eye. We're shooting tomorrow back on Rain, on the set of Rain, Toby and I.
So do you know anything about what's coming up that you could share?
We know very little. I just can tell you that the plague, there's some nasty health issues that you will be glad you live in a time when there are antibiotics, because, yes.
Now I understand your first answer about where you would live, not where there's a plague.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, have a wonderful time. Thank you so much.
And she is not your friend. She is not.
We have a very tumultuous relationship. Sometimes I'm some ally. I wouldn't say we've ever been friends. Sometimes she's not trying to kill me.
Historically, they were not friends. They were.
Well, actually,
except
when she was little, she had raised her for a time, so actually she did have conflicting feelings. I should
But once
care for her, but conflicted him more.
Of course, once you go
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Now he's the king. Now he's the king. So
we've only just started, so haven't quite gotten into it just yet.
They lost my luggage, so that's the beginning of my experience, but we're just going with it, going with the flow.
I've been to San Diego before, and you guys have never been, have you? We don't talk about that. Wonder Girl! As Wonder Girl, and a friend of mine dressed up as Wonder Woman from the 70s TV show, back when I was like 19. It's my first ever Comic-Con.
She was pretty hot.
Anyway, I'm really excited to see how they react to just the sheer scale of SDCC, because there's no other convention like it.
I'd like to see Adventure Time or Bob's Burgers are my 2 favourite shows, so I would happily stand in line for 10 hours to hear them talk about that. Those shows are amazing.
I would agree with Adventure Time. I really like Game of Thrones.
What makes Game of Thrones an amazing show is the fact that anyone can die at any point. Even in massive Hollywood budget movies, no matter how big the scale of what is happening with the explosions and buildings falling, you know that if it's Brad Pitt, he's probably not going to die. It's just not. That doesn't happen in Game of Thrones.
They kill off your favourite characters, they just don't care.
It makes
They're
it
like,
so interesting to watch.
you're dead. It's great.
Okay, so Keep It Sci-Fi. I saw Under the Skin recently with Scarlett Johansson. She's amazing in that.
Oh, wow.
Voluptuous, succubus alien that sort of eats men in some sort of black liquid. It was hot.
Mine would be Caesar, Dawn of Planet of the Apes.
Tom Hardy and Mila Jovovich from back in the Fifth Element days. She's so cool. Viva Dallas Multipass. Water.
Spyglasses.
Sugar-free Red Bull and protein bars.
Hand sanitizer.
Yes. Hand sanitizer.
I would like to have a mask. I would like to have, so I could just go in and observe. That would be really excellent.
No, you just wear different clothes and pull your hair back and take your makeup off, and nobody knows. Everyone's so busy doing their own stuff.
That's good. Well, speaking of
Both
shagging,
with each other and
I want to hear this segue. I want to hear this segue.
great place to kick it up. Speaking of shagging, I know there's some new people coming to French Court. Maybe certain.
Maybe I get to shag somebody finally.
A certain Narcisse. I mean, look, Nostradamus.
Hey,
he's
exactly.
with another now.
Yeah, I know. Narcisse is exciting, and he's a wonderful actor.
Yeah, he's really good. He's
very
got an
handsome.
amazing voice.
great voice.
For the musical episode.
Yeah, for the musical episode that's coming up.
That we have coming up, like in Buffy.
Will he be using it to seduce one Catherine? One Queen
Well,
Mother?
I think what's interesting is that when we first sort of see him, there's something that has me on alert around him because he's very powerful. And one of the dynamics that sort of comes up for me is the politics and trying to get across to Mary that in fact people who have a lot of power are the noblemen.
Yeah.
The nobles actually are the people with the power, that we are beholden to them. We may be the rulers, but they are the people that are making the decisions. They are the lobbyists of the 1500s.
I thought that once I got into power that that would sort of be it, that I could do what I want, but actually I have to answer to
So
a whole
he's a-
bunch of people that I have to manage and
Red tape.
who have their own agendas.
So he's a very powerful nobleman, and I think I recognize power, and my immediate thing is how am I going to make this work for me?
Now, speaking of noblemen, there is one very noble man missing from this group.
Another excellent segue.
Bash hug, I think, was a thing on Twitter when Francis and Bash hugged in the finale. That
I
was
was touched
beautiful.
by that.
For OTP.
Oh yeah, tell me.
In the new episode, we hug like 3 times. I know that moment went down really well, so they were like, just put it in everywhere. We're hugging every
All the
time.
hugs,
Every
please.
time we see each other, we're doing it.
Will that relationship continue? Will you guys still be good? Because I know that's always very touch and go.
I do say at some point to him, I need someone that I can trust to him. So I think we're at the stage now where our relationship can build, even though not that long ago he was engaged to my wife.
Well, he's married. He's married to one of my best friends now, and they're in love, I guess.
Yeah, they're in.
For the moment, they're in love.
There's just a lot of sharing at French Court. I know he's not here. Can you say?
It's French court. What did you expect?
I know. Can you say what might be happening with those two? I know they're not here, so let's talk about them.
I love their relationship. It's so funny.
Something.
Dash and Kenna?
They're both kind of snarky.
Yeah, they are.
Make
Actually,
you snark
they're
at each
the
other.
two actually that have had to develop into something, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
That they
Yeah.
were thrown together.
The best Twitter question I got for all of you, since he's not here, is: will it ever be addressed that Torrance has beautiful eyes?
Sometimes
That's
you'll be
why
working
I
with him
don't
and you'll
like.
forget to
I try
talk.
not to look at him because
Yeah.
if I do, I get
Drawn right in.
mesmerized, and the
Sucked
queen's
in.
gone into
Oh
it.
god, I got lost in your eyes again.
Boston's eyes.
Longest hug ever.
Damn you,
Crap.
your Boston eyes.
Now, no offense to any of you or any of the other cast
we
members.
go.
My segues are just either really
waiting
good or really
for this
bad.
one.
I want to talk about my favorite character, which is Clarissa.
Oh.
Out there somewhere hiding.
Yes.
I talked to Lori McCarthy, and she said, yes, of course she's alive, maybe out there. What do you guys think she's doing?
She's gone Rambo. She's out there. It's like I did some sort of montage of her like working out and getting really strong, so she can come back to the castle and take everyone on, putting on dinner, running through the
I feel like she's found a witch to fix her face so that she can like.
Put that potato sack back on, cut the eye holes out.
And just kill.
Yeah, just
Everybody.
kill everyone. I think
Yeah,
that's
that's how the show will end, with Clarissa coming back and slaughtering everybody in the castle.
Hockey or football? Soccer.
Soccer.
Canadians versus Europeans. Yeah. Woo! Ski or snowboard?
Ski.
Tim Hortons or Starbucks?
Starbucks.
Starbucks. Winter or summer?
Summer.
Poutine or salad?
Salad. I
Favorite,
love poutine. I don't get me wrong. I love poutine.
a favorite Toronto restaurant?
Too many. I can't even think of one too many. Cafe Isabel.
Oh, Adelaide. I went too, yeah. Favorite Toronto bar or club? Club.
That too many to say.
Book you're currently reading?
Oh, I just forgot the title. Harvest, I think it's called, by
Was it
Jim Crace.
That gave them the Alice Munro?
That might have been Anna. Did Anna say an Alice Munro book
yeah,
that she
but-
read? Anna
but
Popple?
you gave it to her?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
I did. Yeah. Or it might have been a Margaret Atwood. Was it Margaret Atwood?
I think it was Alice Munro.
Alice
I was
Munro.
like, good, get this good.
Yes.
Last concert you went to?
Daniel Lanois and Emmylou Harris.
Ooh. Last movie you saw?
Birdman.
Everyone's talking about that. I'm gonna go see it tonight. So I'm assuming it's the best. Favorite prop on set?
I was thinking I have a ring, so it's really a piece of jewelry almost, but that it covers the whole ring. It's got a bendable and with a little hook on it. So I like it.
If you want to poison
Yeah,
say.
if you want exactly. Or if you want to just tap and be very heard with your tapping.
Something on your bucket list.
I want to go to Machu Picchu.
3 of you today said Machu Picchu. I feel like you should all go.
serious?
Yeah, for sure. I think Adelaide and Selena, yeah. So I think you should all go on a trip together. We can do that for our next onset next year. We'll do the rain onset in Machu Picchu.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Best gift you've received?
Oh, probably something from my children. I'm sure when I was little, you know. Actually, you know, I'm going to be really practical. My son gave me this very portable humidifier. That's about this big, it's tiny, and it goes right by my bed. So, and you can either have it on as a little light or just a humidifier. And he gave it to me last winter, being here.
It's perfect. Humidifiers in these cold
but
winters.
It was about that big,
Perfect.
but it could go for hours. So it was good.
Worst gift you've received?
That's my answer.
I'll take it.
Since you have to run. Has Catherine had time to kind of process her husband's death and what it means for her?
No.
Right. So how is she going to kind of handle it going forward? Obviously, it's probably a little easier for her now that he's gone because she can see her moving on.
I mean, Catherine is not someone who stays in the past. I think first and foremost, she's a survivor, and she has to immediately move on to the next source that's going to secure her power and her safety, which would be her children. So that's my feeling.
Yeah, but how does she deal with something like a plague? You can't negotiate with
No, that's why that's fascinating, because it's not controllable. It's bigger and it's scarier, and it doesn't have, there's not someone you can condemn or condone for the behavior, and yet everybody is at the effect of it.
Does it kind of unify her with everybody, or has she still got a private agenda?
I think there's always a private agenda, but there's a greater good that has to be served and saved. So, and she's always about that as well. Right.
Yeah.
And on that note, gotta go.
I'm really gonna hunt.
Renee, you have Lori.
Yeah, amazing.
We didn't get that shot.
I know.
It's all can be rooted in character. It's all rooted in guilt and shame.
Guilt and shame.
How old is the goodies?
Not sure how much Catherine has to do with guilt and shame.
I think she does. I mean, we've sort of played a little bit already with that. I think that certain people know more things about her than she's comfortable with them knowing. Like, there are things that
Yeah.
You think she's going to go to hell? I do, and you know,
It's very ominous. By the way, your character's going to hell.
yeah, I don't think she's going to hell, but I believe that she believes good.
Yeah, believe in hell.
Yeah.
Or she would believe in that.
Yeah.
What she does a little bit more open, or will she still find ways to manipulate under the table kind of thing and subtle?
I think probably she's very sophisticated, I think, Catherine. So I think that she would take great offense to the word crude. I don't think she's crude at all. I think she can be ruthless. That is the appropriate action she feels needs to be taken. But she's not. She's very savvy. She just is. She gets a little impatient because I think she feels she's ahead of people, and often is.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating.
I think it's a character trait that Catherine and Mary share is they just know what's right. They just know it, and they usually are.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite scene or moment or episode from season 1? Because every single one I watched, it just looked like such a delicious role for you, and I got excited seeing you play that type of a role. You know, having grown up seeing you, and I'm from Toronto. I started watching you on film reels in classrooms as a kid. So yeah. So was there one thing from season 1 that really stood out for you that was a favorite?
There's a couple of scenes. I was just thinking about the scene with Henry and I where I finally take my hair down and he sort of confesses that he kind of had loved me, but he's like, my head's on the chopping block. and just they're incredibly complex.
That was fun when we went from planning your own beheading to going to bed with it and then realizing he wasn't going to do anything about your beheading.
Yes, and working that. So that was fun. And also I love some of my Nostradamus as well.
One with Diana.
Oh, I love that. That's true. When I finally had something on her and I could get her out of my mind, that was a great scene. I love that scene. And there was nothing she could do about it. And that was so many years coming.
Can I say something about that? Because it's interesting because we're talking about haunting and that is something that haunts Catherine.
Yeah, Clarissa haunts Catherine.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and so if we talk about however that expression of Clarissa comes back, that is a sin of Catherine's in her mind that she's is not settled with. And so I think that's
it's born of sin, and then she was mistreated when you finally realized who she was.
Hello guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Hey, how are you? I'm sort of blinded from flashbulbs and
You look good. I'm sorry, I forgot the question. I'm so excited being enjoyed.
The dynamic with Francis and Mary now that.
Yeah, I think they have brutal jobs, and his job is solely to rule France. She still has kind of two jobs. She needs to rule France well to build up a base that can support her. But she's Elizabeth kind of lurks in the wings, and she's also a woman, and she has to protect herself. And so she, while she's trying to protect her marriage and protect Francis, she also has to protect herself.
I guess there might be some strain as well with the baby and Francis and him leaving there at the end.
Can you say?
Sorry, with Francis leaving to go check on Lola and the baby, would that have an impact on their relationship as well?
Oh yeah, and I think that Mary and Lola are going to do their best to remain friends and to be the best husband. I think they're very concerned, rightly so, that they're going to fall into the footsteps of Catherine de Medici and Diane de Poitiers. And, where there's a natural rivalry there for the king's attentions and affections and loyalty.
What attracted you to your character when you first got the role? What was it that excited you about it?
You were so fun in the audition.
I found her funny. I have to say, I found her kind of delicious. I found her.
Delicious?
Yeah, I did. I do. I think she's kind of coy. She's very playful. She's very dangerous. She's very powerful, but she can't go through I always say she can't go through the front door with her power. So she has to go around, and that makes her even more dangerous. Because it's not straightforward. Her sense of right and wrong and loyalty is very straightforward. But she's also a negotiator. I think in a different world, in a different time, she might have been an incredible diplomat. Believe it or not, when she wasn't poisoning people.
Or assassin.
Or assassin.
Or just a really good mom.
An assassin diplomat. Loving mom. She's kind of all of those. Yeah. Well, she needs Mary to do well, and she needs Mary to do her job well, because Mary is also really a support to Francis, I think. So it's, I'm sure I'm also trying to find a way that I'm going to be able to manipulate her, because I feel I know best. So that will be an interesting, I'm sure, kind of butting of heads of who actually knows best, who's right, and the best way to do that and achieve it. And we don't always agree, most definitely, on those areas.
Do you think Catherine's desire for Francis to be king was more motivated by her love for him and wanting him to have power, or another way for her to have power?
Well, I think it's the only way for her to have power, first of all. And because she had so many sons and children, she guaranteed that power for herself. Against a lot of odds, against a husband who was deeply in love with another woman, who had children with other women. So that was... I think, but she did certainly, and which is historically true, get herself a little kind of contractual queen consort, queen regent, so that no matter, she had power because her children were young too when they took power, and she knew that. So and in truth, Frances was they were all very close to their mother. She had a lot of power over the children.
There's so many conflicting feelings that I have about my crazy husband.
Your Majesty! Your Majesty! The king is gravely injured!
He was trying to take my head off more than once, so we had a complicated relationship. You are the love of my life. I want to see your kindness returned. I think I'm actually in a more powerful position now. There's a lot of different forces at work, and one which is sort of greater than everybody and makes everyone vulnerable, is this encroaching the sphere of the plague. Standing in the same room with someone who is ill risks infection.
I know what the plague does.
It's obviously a very real threat for all of us. I had two queens for a while, but now it's interesting. Yeah, it is an uneasy alliance.
Such glory you promise, and so cunning you've become.
On the one hand, I'm very aware that I need to have Mary on side.
How you've changed since you came back to us from convent.
I think I will have some kind of control because of my son.
I miss the girl you were.
However, my son always surprises me and doesn't necessarily do what I want.